Hello. Yes, we're still continuing about from grass to grace. I've been telling you my story, my birth. Now we are reaching how I grew up. It was an interesting time. Remember, I told you about Uhuru. Uhuru is Christmas. There are two functions. Christmas we call Karama, and Uhuru is Independence Day. It was highly celebrated. Guess what? Those were the two most important functions. I wrote a long story, but I realized that many Africans we lack reading culture. Yet the West and the world is afraid of Africa because we are getting to realize the fact that we are powerful. We can, if we unite, if we get one leadership, if we become a United States of Africa, the world will go frenzy. Let's get back to the big day. I wrote an article that the last Uhuru in Uganda. Why the last? Because for the past 37 years, we have had one president, President Museveni. But when he came and took over power, he took over from my uncles, actually men, Tito, Kello, and the rest, and majority of the army was basically actually, and those from northern Uganda. When Museveni made it as president, they called it Liberation War. By the way, most conflicts and wars and coups in Africa, they call it liberation. Liberation. Against who? Against their own people, against own Ugandans. Look, during Amin's time, it was from Western Nile, Uganda. Obote, Lao, northern Uganda. Tito, actually, northern Uganda. Museveni came in liberator, and they have what they call Liberation Day. And they celebrate killing fellow Ugandans. That aside, let's get back to the beauty of Uhuru as I was growing up. Friends, it was fanfare. Fanfare. You feel like going to school. I remember in 1985, I was hardly 7 years and had just been admitted to Obia Highland Primary School. You know, in admission, you go and they put their hands on the head and this finger must touch this ear. If it doesn't touch, you can never be admitted. That means you are underaged. Me, my hands could not reach the ear, but it was so good. I would sing A, B, C, D very well. Now, that time had just been admitted because I was so smart. And the headmaster, he was called Oloya. And Oloya was the headmaster in 1985 in Obia Highland. That aside, we were preparing for Independence Day. And every time we used to go to nearby schools to see upper classes march, they sing Jumbo, they sing Independence Revolution songs. You love it. You love it. This is the time to work for Uganda. This is the time to work for Uganda. Uganda, Uganda, oh Uganda, 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 we are going forward. This is the time to work for Uganda. You know, I'm not good at singing, but that is the song they would march in schools and sing. Then I remember there was one for Uhuru. Nino dwe Oromo, mi Uhuru, Uganda lochkan dwe mie pa, nin dwe abungwen, Uganda lochkan. That was a song that the day has come to celebrate Uganda's independence. October 9th, October 1962 is when we got our independence. And students would sing in school. That day, I remember our home, Agwe, was close to Bia Highland Primary School. For us, we were in primary one, we could not go to march to town. The day for independence, many things happened. Let me start with the village. In the village, young men, uncles, big brothers, and so on, aunts, they mobilized themselves for over a year for the function, Independence Day. It was a fun fair across the country. No one would wish to miss Independence or Christmas Day. Now, young men would sit every week and raise money, chicken, goats, and so on for over a year. When the time comes for independence, like 2 weeks to go, they start preparing lachoi, that's the local brew, ajon, kware is a skull, a reggae, that's the local whiskey or gin, wherever. They make a lot of them. The young women go to the woods and carry woods and bring home. Remember, we say never bring ants infested fagots in a home, because when lizards pay you a visit, you should not make noise. That is the saying. Now, the women go to the woods. The men look for money and mobilize for the event. 2 weeks to Independence Day. the youth sit. I remember I had an uncle called Amos Omoya. He had many friends, like the father of the current CFO of Gulu is my childhood friend, Okot Dennis. The father used to be a friend of my uncle Amos Oluwen. Now, they would sit Oluwen. I remember Ojuya, Umoya, and there were about 4, 5, 6 people who used to come together, young people. Those were the key, but there were over hundreds across the village. But of course, the Agwe village, Agwe, there is a Riega, there are many villages around, but Agwe, within, let's say, from senior quarters to Obia Highland, there were about 5 homes or 10. Our home, about 5 to senior quarters, 5, and 5 elders. There were very few people in Gulu. By the way, my grandmother told me that in 50s, when they came to Gulu, Gulu was almost a forest. Only a small place in town was big enough and beautiful. Elephants would cross around. That is why we see a lot of palm trees around. The other side, young people gather, they prepare ajono and all those goodies to make to make them happy. Now, interesting. But for today, I want to stop here. Tomorrow I'll continue from after they organize what happens next to that day of independence. Soon we're going to have our Independence Day. Here in Canada, we shall go. Don Romeo is here. He's going to sing a lot of traditional songs. Pelele Yoling and Yatria, things like Polo Polo. Yatria is for Bosmic. But this one here, he has many interesting songs. On the Independence Day, we shall be there. But I must tell you, the young people, how we used to celebrate this day before you were born. Thank you. Have a good one.